Hey, Job Drops here, where you can get news and views on jobs that teachers don't tell you. And today, we'll be covering user experience design. So let's just jump right into it. We're on the Interaction Design Foundation. User experience design is the process of creating products that provide meaningful and relevant experiences to users. This involves the design of the entire process of acquiring and integrating the product, including aspects of branding, design, usability, and function. And here we have a video explaining. I'll just play the clip.
Design is arguably the defining human endeavor that separates us from all other species. Take a look around you right now and you'll notice that everything has been designed, from how you sleep, to how you eat, to how you communicate. Everything around you has been designed by someone. In other words, user experience design, or UX design, is everywhere, from how you interact with your smartphone to how your home is designed. Of course, not all experiences are well designed, and that's why UX design is such an incredibly exciting and rewarding field to be in.
We can trace UX design all the way back to the ancient Romans. They developed theories of aesthetics to construct amazing buildings that have stood the test of time. Vitruvius, a renowned Roman architect who wrote the first ever book on architecture, asserted that good design must have the qualities of durability, usefulness, and aesthetics. These qualities are as important to UX design today as they were millennia ago.
From the early 1970s to 80s, UX design was known as Human-Computer Interaction, or HCI. HCI rose to prominence just as
So yeah, as I said, it's it's a field that's always existed, but just recently it's been said as an actual field. So also known as human interaction design. So what do these people do? But however, usability and user interface design are an important aspects of UX design. They are subsets of it. UX design covers a vast array of areas too. Adobe Blog, and they have what does a UX designer actually do? So if we scroll down here, responsibilities of a UX designer. It depends. Responsibilities can vary dramatically from company to company, and sometimes even from the project to project within one company. Despite the variety the role offers, there are general functions of a UX designer can be expected to perform irrespective of the company they work at. So they can also be product, which is every UX designer's starting point for a UX design project. It teaches UX designers about users, behaviors, goals, and motivations and needs, and it helps UX designers understand the industry standards and identify opportunities for the product in a given area. From a more technical standpoint, personal interviews, competitive analysis, online surveys, focus groups. Another responsibility is creating personas and scenarios. So here I have an example. It's a fictional client called Clark Andrews. Have his age, occupation, status, location, which is very important, tier, and archetype. That's what he's referenced himself as. And we have his motivations, his fears, goals, frustrations. And these are actually all important to consider when you're designing a product. Because, so here they have an example of a situation. Tom lives alone. He is suffering from depression, having just lost his job. He feels hopeless and alone. Tom's friend Susan noticed that something is wrong with Tom, but she's not sure how to reach out to him. So Susan downloads the Heartline app onto her phone. She adds Tom, and then adds some of Tom's other friends to help check in on him. Periodically, the app will remind Susan and the others to check in on Tom. She gets a message in person. Susan checks in with Tom and lets him know how much she cares about him. Tom begins to feel less disconnected and alone. Periodically, as Tom's friends are reminded, they check up on him and Tom is reminded of his support system. So this is like a very practical example line up that's a little more effective than just simply, telling persons to call the helpline whenever you need help. So we have information architecture, how the information created on a website, app, or other product that allows users to understand where they are and where the information they want is in relation to their current position. So for example, when a UX designer sketches a top-level menu to help users understand where they are on a site, she is practicing information architecture. So on the top of the page you always see like your home, your support, contacts, the rest, those sort of things. Also, they create wireframes, and these are essentially the backbone of the project. Typical guide of user development starts and should contain a representation of every important piece of final product. Wireframes are hardly used for product testing, even though they may help designers to gather feedback on design in initial research. They won't replace the actual interaction with the product. So here's an example of shopping lists, a wireframe, basic wireframe, tap an item, and you want to save the item to shopping list, and then you have the shopping list details, whatever is in your. The next step is prototyping. This means to show how the app actually works. So while wireframes are similar to architectural blueprints, a building plan, prototype is a middle to high fidelity representation of the final product. So essentially saying here that prototyping gives an example of how the product will actually interact with the user. For example, you have a Dishi, so you have different varying connections of the apps. When you click one button, it goes to a certain other screen, and so on and so forth. Is this even an important field? Well, according to CNN Money, I'll have all these links to these different articles in the description if you wish to read them further. So it is ranked number 43. It has a personal satisfaction of B, low stress B, C, to society and flexibility. So this is a really good job if you want a better work-life balance. It says businesses can lose gobs of money if they make products that they find tricky to use. That's where user experience comes in. So they have a growth of up to 22.1%, and this is of course 2012. And we actually can see here that it also can be called as user experience researcher. The job growth has been gone down slightly just to 19%, but that's not really a very large change, because it's various, each year they'll have a different estimation. So, and also they have a median pay of about $106,000 per year, which is pretty good considering that they have to do all the research. Also, they can be known as interface designers, and their pay is about a couple thousands below, but it depends on the company. So on Block.io, companies that invested in great design outperform the S&P 500 by 228%, according to DMI. Utilizing top design talent in hardware, software, and service interactions help companies grow faster through differentiation and better customer experiences. So we have a graph of design-centric organizations. You can see the D index pretty high. The increase, this is the amount of salary increase, 39,922. So if you're thinking of something changing careers or you're right out of high school, it could be just the thing for you. UX design is number 1 out of 7 in demand careers for design and planning, with job growth up to 30%. Because design and planning play such an essential role in our lives, it is no surprise employers are looking to hire in these innovative industries. And from city to city, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, of course, US, which covers web programmers, web designers, and webmasters, which all contain some amount of UX design, or it's expected to increase by 13% through 2020 on average. And according to Glassdoor, the average salary is $90,000 nationwide. And according to Simply Hired, New York tops the list with 17,967 available UX design jobs. San Francisco following in second with 14,057 jobs, and Seattle in third with 5,540 jobs. Alright, and of course, what user experience salary-wise? What can I expect salary-wise with their pay? So UX designer will be 96,381. This is from the UX Design Institute. Search salary guide in 2018 shows UX designer salary ranges from 76,600 to 113,500. Of course, this is also from the UK, I believe. Ireland, Dublin, Ireland. Sorry about that. And of course, it can range from about 45 to 50k with a typical starting salary if you have 3 years or less experience, right? Of course, Glassdoor also says average about $90,697 a year. Of course, you can see this on the low end, high end, and this is about mid-range. So what are the job descriptions for UX designer? What are the requirements? Well, it depends on where you live. For US, which a lot of these things are, you see it has with web UX UI design experience, so sometimes you just need to apply as a. So the responsibilities include graphic design, web design, creative design. This is, of course, so also apply as a graphic designer or UX designer so you can get these same jobs. Okay, we also even have Glassdoor. They actually have a ranking of different companies. So we have 3.8% for this Zmozo. And here's a job description. They say you have to have a minimum of 3 years of relevant consulting industry experience. I advise you still apply because a lot of times they'll just put these things in the details and it's not really the case. At least 2 years of experience creating highly detailed annotated wireframes, user flows and process flows. So guys, remember to you need to have a portfolio of some amount of for your UX designs because a lot of employers will actually look on that. Worked on information architecture, interaction design, and product design. But there, and also look at the company ratings because each of the like 3.2 might not be very suitable because notice they haven't even mentioned the pay range, which might be a red flag that it's a race to the bottom. So how do you start in this field? Well, the first book I'd recommend is Don't Make Me Think Revisited, a common sense approach to usability. This book is excellent. It teaches you various principles about how you should design websites, how to take the user's experience in mind, and the design of everyday things. This is another great book. It allows you to be able to think of how everything around you has a specific design, not just digitally but also the physical world, because UX design can also involve things that are in the physical world, like chairs, and even how your laptop or the very phone you're on has a specific design. So this book goes through everything about that. And if you want to do a slight crash course on it, I'd recommend go YouTube. YouTube is always free, highly recommended. This guy design course, he has some very good courses. UI design, but it also covers UX principles. So highly recommend you check him out. His channel is Design Course. Onto some paid ones now. You have UX Web Design Master Course. This is on Udemy, and of course right now you see they're having a special sale. They always have sales about every 1-2 weeks, so if you see it, always take advantage. And of course it's $12.99. So, and they also might have offers that make it $10 or $9.99. So I advise you save up, try and buy these courses when you can. If you can't buy it alone, buy it with a group, like another person. You and the person share the same account. It doesn't matter as long as you get the information and you guys can apply it. Of course, he has about 2 to 3 real world projects on this. This one, user experience, the ultimate guide to usability and UX. I'll put the links to the courses down in the description if you want to check those out. Right now it's $47, but just wait for Udemy to have its general savings course and you'll see. Next we have UX Design for Beginners, User Behavior and Psychology by Mohammad Ashan Pervez. he's really good. He has some really good courses. I've heard some good things about him from one or two persons. He's an actual UX designer. You can check out his Behance account. He has some interesting UX. He also has some other courses to help you aid you in your UX design. Next, we have Ultimate App Design course, UX, UI, prototyping in Adobe XD. So this is a course about user experience using the specific tools of both Photoshop and Adobe XD Designer, which is a relatively new program for Adobe. Also, can do hands-on Sketch 4 masterclass. This is another tool that is used heavily in the UX UI design industry as well as web design. But of course, this is mainly for Mac. But there's actually a tool that is very similar that works and can read sketch files and operates generally the same. That free tool is called Lunacy 8. I'll put the link to some of these in the description, so make sure you check it out. It can read sketch files just as well as, and it's of course for Windows only because Sketch is actually a Mac. So this is a free alternative if you can't get Sketch. So you have organizing pages, has typography tools, and it has both features for Mac and Windows. But it's of course still in development, but it's pretty good. Then you have Figma. It's another prototyping tool that allows you to prototype apps as well as design them. It's free, I believe, and check it out. Get your designs up and running, and build your portfolio, because that's very important in this kind of field. And now we go on to the paid ones, which are like Affinity Designer. This is operates similar to, has won Apple Design Award, Digital Arts Editor's Choice, App of the Year, Windows Developer Award. It's a cheaper alternative to the more popular version, Photoshop. It's about, let me check here, scrolling down. Has flow text, can make these cool arts with it. Of course, right now they're having it for $3.99 for Windows as well as for Mac. So if you have any of these systems, now's a good choice to buy it. And you just pay once and you own it forever. Or you can try their free trial. I think it's for at least 30 days or 14 days. And of course, last but not least, we have Photoshop, the big programs in the industry. They have either buy it or you have in the Creative Cloud. Right. And it depends on what you want. If you're going to university or college or to a design school, you may want this program because they always use it. But if you're planning to teach yourself, I'd advise you either buy Affinity Designer or you use tools such as Figma and Lunacy. Oh, and before I forget, we have another one called InVision. This little program here is a web-based program. You can use online. You can get started for free. It allows you to prototype apps similar to Figma, but I don't think it allows you to actually create them. Right, you have to create them in either Sketch or Photoshop to get into use the program. So that is it, guys. Hope you enjoy the program. You can always like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time.